I'm comfortable with Steam, I'm comfortable with Valve, and that's where I want to shop. You can shop wherever you want, but I think it's shady when a company puts a game on a platform, advertises it, and then pulls it from that platform because they got a better deal elsewhere.
This is a community-supported legal education channel. Find out how you can support our mission at the links in the description below.
I would like to talk about the updated Steam distribution agreement. I saw this hit Reddit today. I have not been able to find an actual first-hand copy of the Steam distribution agreement. If somebody has access to it and can send it to me, that'd be great. We'll keep you anonymous. We won't reveal who sent it to us. But so far, this is just a screenshot that was posted on Reddit. I don't see how this would be copyright infringement in any way. Like, just putting a red box around text does not create a copyright for the person who posted it on Reddit. But I do want to just say that I have not been able to verify that this is the actual agreement from Valve and not somebody's fake thing. But assuming this is not some sort of fake or deep fake, or I'm not being fooled by something, you might remember that Epic Games has had some exclusivity agreements this year, and some people, including myself, are a little bit upset. Some people are very upset. I'm only a little bit. I'm not even upset. It's more like I'll vote with my wallet and make my decisions about who I support and everything for myself. In my case, we are probably not going to purchase Borderlands 3 until it comes to Steam. We like Steam. We like having our games on Steam. I don't want to break my content library, my game library up into games on the Epic Games Store, so I'll just wait till the content comes to Steam. Borderlands 3 is really going to be for me to play with Kaylee anyway, so if we just wait, we can play it when it comes to Steam. And to kind of stick it to, people for doing an exclusivity agreement, we'll probably wait until it's half price or so, because we don't want to support the exclusivity stuff. But that's okay, you can still go play Borderlands 3 and have a great time and all that. However, the part I do have a problem with is putting Borderlands 3 pre-orders, or at least hype and teasers and advertising and marketing on Steam, and then pulling your game off of Steam before it can actually be sold. That, I think, is pretty shady. And so I think we've seen this with a couple different games, developers, publishers, etc. They would put a game on Steam, they would market the game, hype the game, develop the game, get customers to pre-order the game even on Steam, and then suddenly there'd be an exclusivity agreement with Epic Games. And suddenly the Steam sales would be either refunded or converted, or you would only get it on Steam if you had pre-ordered it up to that moment, and then no more sales were allowed. Well, I don't think Steam's very happy about that they get used for free advertising and then their users get fooled, and then everybody has to go over to Epic Games to buy their stuff that was previously advertised on Steam. So Steam has apparently updated, or rather Valve, has apparently updated their distribution agreement with developers and publishers, and it has been posted to Reddit this morning that what the update is. So let's see what it is here and see what sort of teeth it might have. Looking at this paragraph 2.1 in the Steam distribution agreement, let me read it first. It says, delivery. Company shall submit the application to Steam for release no later than the first commercial release of each application or localized version. So that does allow for a localized version. Or, if already commercially released as of the effective date, the release would need to be within 30 days of the effective date. So if a game is already released, it has to be released on Steam within 30 days of the effective date of the Steam agreement. So don't agree to the Steam distribution agreement if you don't want to release your game within 30 days. Or, if submitting the application before the game is released, it appears that the date has to be the same as the commercial release of any version of the application or localized version. Thereafter, company shall submit to Steam any localized versions and application updates in beta and final form when available, but in no event later than they are provided to any other third party for commercial release. Company shall provide these copies in object code in whatever format Valve reasonably requests. So that's really cool. Let's go over it in detail. This means company, which would be a games developing company or publisher, agreeing to the stream distribution agreement. So they're making an agreement. They are clicking the button that they agree, or rather they are signing the agreement in a way. They shall submit the game, the application, the game to Steam for release no later. So the release is no later than the first commercial release. The first commercial release of each game or localized version of the game. That means you can't agree to release your game on Steam and then go and pull your game off. Your game has to be released no later than the first commercial release of the application to any other platform. So if you, well, I don't mean platform like PC, I mean other sales platforms. So if a company agrees to the Steam distribution agreement and then signs an Epic exclusivity agreement, that's going to be in violation of the Steam distribution agreement. Not because they can't make an exclusivity agreement, but they agreed to release the application or game on Steam at the same time, the exact same time as other platforms. So there can't be both a Steam distribution agreement and then subsequently an exclusivity agreement for sale on another sales platform. So that actually does put some teeth into it. So does that mean that we'll get no more Epic Games exclusives? No. That's not what's happening here. You can still sell your game exclusively on Epic if that's what you want to do, developers. It's just that if you put your game on Steam for distribution, for pre-order, for hype, for marketing, that means you have to agree to the Steam distribution agreement, and I'm assuming you pay a fee for this distribution as well. I forget what it is. I believe under Steam Greenlight or something it was $500. I'm sure larger developers have a more standard cost. But if you put your game on Steam for release, it must be released at the same time as other releases, as your release of that game on other sales platforms. So that means you can't then go sign a Epic Games agreement and not be in violation of this if that Epic Games agreement is an exclusive agreement. So does that sound like an improvement? It sounds like an improvement to me. What do you think of that? Take a look at it again. If you want to read it, pause the screen and take a look and reply with your thoughts in the comments below. I think that's a really awesome change to the Steam distribution agreement to help protect Valve and frankly to help protect us, Valve's customers, from sort of the bait and switch tactic of putting a game on Steam, getting us all hyped up about the game being on Steam. I'm obviously more hyped about the game than Steam, but I like Steam. It's grown into a very good platform. I know it works reliably. I know that I can travel over here to Luxembourg and my Steam account comes with me and I don't suddenly lose access to all of my games or something. I don't know if the Epic Games Store works that way. I don't know all the pitfalls of the Epic Games Store yet, so I'm not comfortable putting my $60 purchases. And let's be fair here, I've got a wonderful girlfriend that I love to play co-op games with. I'm going to be paying $120 for a $60 game because I'm going to be buying 2 copies of it. So we're putting all that on the Epic Games Store and I don't trust it yet? No. No. I'm comfortable with Steam. I'm comfortable with Valve, and that's where I want to shop. You can shop wherever you want, but I think it's shady when a company puts a game on a platform, advertises it, and then pulls it from that platform because they got a better deal elsewhere. This will prevent that, at least on some level, I think. What do you think? Let me know.
I think this kind of puts a price tag on Steam's advertising as well now, doesn't it? If you think about it, because if they want to use Steam as a platform to advertise their upcoming game, they have to break a contract and go to court and pay a price. So
yeah. And what would be the damages? Let's go over that. What would be the damages for a violation? It would be contract damages. Contract damages contract damages are restitution if available. So if you can put the damaged party back into the position they were at if the contract had been properly fulfilled, that's the measure of contract damages. You don't win a windfall. You don't win, millions of dollars more than your contract was worth. Sometimes there's extra egregious conduct that can lead to that. But no, contract damages are simply restorative or restitution. You want to restore the injured party to where they would have been had the contract been properly performed. So, if an Epic Games exclusivity agreement is made in violation of the Steam distribution agreement, then Steam gets to go after the violation for basically the money that they would have made on Steam. And that's basically what we want. We don't want it to be extra, we don't want it to be less, we want it to be the damages plus attorney's fees and costs. So that would put Steam back into the position that it was at before. So this is a great, in my humble opinion, my professional legal opinion, this is a great clause to insert in their distribution agreement. It doesn't go overbroad, it's not overbroad, it doesn't go overboard, it doesn't go too far. It's very measured. It gets contract damages only under the circumstances where Steam gets used as a marketing platform, and then the game gets pulled before release. And the game is either not released on Steam or it is released later on Steam. Like, we know that Borderlands 3 will be released later on Steam. Maybe 6 months, I think, was the exclusivity agreement. So I'll play Borderlands in March or whatever for my birthday. How about that? Maybe that'll happen. Maybe it'll be a lower price by then. I don't know. That's what I'm kind of hoping, is that I'll end up paying $30 or $40 a copy or less, because they already had their exclusivity run, and now everybody who wanted it got it there, and those of us who were waiting, can wait. You might see, Valerian Gamer says something about Steam Edition. Yeah, you might see someone try to make 2 versions of the game. That'll be an interesting thing to do, to try and maintain a version of the game that is different enough that a judge or jury would agree that it's not the same product, that it's not the same application or release, because that's the standard in it's the contract language here, is that it has to be the same application. So if you just change a single 1 or 0, is that enough? What if you change it up, to change the colors, or what if you change the title, or what if you just change it to Steam Edition? I don't think that's enough. I think if it's essentially the same product, then you're not going to get around the clause. You'd have to make a completely different product. In other words, from the marketing, from the purchaser's perspective, the customer's perspective, it would have to be a completely different product. What about console ports? I would say that would be an interesting dispute. I can see both sides of that. It's a different product because a console requires a console. Steam requires a PC that meets the requirements. But it's still the same application. It's still the same game. It's just in a different digital medium. It's either on a memory card in a cartridge or on a disc, but it's still the digital content. It's still the same digital thing. Maybe it's written for, the object code is compiled into, the source code is compiled into object code for the platform that it's on, but that does not make it a different application, I don't think. So yeah, I think that applies to console ports too. If the application is released on a console, but they also signed the Steam distribution agreement, so basically don't sign the Steam distribution agreement if you intend to have different release dates on different platforms. Just don't advertise it on Steam. Now, can Steam violate this clause? Can a Steam allow someone to violate this clause? Yes. Steam can make a further agreement with a distributor to say, yes, a console port is fine and doesn't violate Rule 2.1 or paragraph 2.1. So we might see that. We might see where Steam does allow it, but Steam needs to allow it only in circumstances where Steam says so, not where Randy Pitchford says so. So it has to be an agreed upon thing. If Steam agrees to it, great. They can violate it all day long if Steam agrees to it. But if Steam does not agree to it, that it's a violation. And Steam can pick and choose. They don't have to go after every violation. This is not trademark law. If they can pick and choose who to enforce this clause against. Maybe they enforce it against situations like Borderlands 3 pulling their game off of Steam. Maybe they don't enforce it against console ports that are just releasing a few months later because the port isn't finished yet. In other words, porting a console game from a console to Steam, maybe that takes longer. So maybe that's okay with Steam. They can decide. Steam can decide on a case-by-case basis. They have the right to do that. That's perfectly within their contractual rights. So that is our show, everyone. Thank you for joining me for this Luxembourg edition of Lawful Masses. Thank you to all of our supporters. Remember, this is a community-supported legal education channel. We try to bring you daily and hopefully soon more than once daily videos about contemporary topics of law. We like to try and find the interesting things where we can explain something that the mainstream media or lay people will not necessarily understand, and without the benefit of a legal analysis. So we try to make this interesting for you, and with your support, we hope to take this to the next level within the next coming months. So thank you to Brandon, our editor, who is with us in the studio today, the virtual studio. Brandon is our community manager and soon to be our full-time editor. We want to pay him a living wage, so if you would like to help us pay him a living wage, please don't forget to support us on patreon.com/ljfrench or sponsors.com/law. You can also support us by subscribing to our channel, watching our content, clicking the bell, and choosing all notifications. YouTube is not sending our subscribers all notifications unless they do that, so a gentle reminder to do that. Thank you very much to those who are supporting us financially in the month of September. Thank you to Joshua Davis of TandaPay. We are working on not just a TandaPay video, but also working on information about how you can either support or get on a list or get more information about TandaPay. Currently, we want you to go read the medium.com article that is in the description below of how or why Joshua Davis says TandaPay is going to work. And it is a really cool technology, and until we have all that put together, I'm not going to go further into a description. Once we have our messaging all unified, we will make the video and have some unified messaging here on our channel. Thank you also to our $50 plus supporters, John Steele, Gavin Barnard, Kyle Mudrak, Eevi, Michael Pearce, Spirit Bear, Jan Negrey, Daniel Perez, Snorre Wisotzky, Joe Tyson, and Blackleaf. Thank you very much for your support at the $50 level, and thank you to the $5 plus supporters who will be scrolling in front of me on the crawl at the end of the video. I'll ask Brandon to put some Luxembourg travel video. We have a million videos and pictures from our tour that we took of Luxembourg City yesterday. I have almost 200 video clips to put together, and Brandon will probably put some photographs in the outro here. Thank you for all of your support. Thank you for joining me today. I am Leonard French, your favorite copyright attorney. Thank you to Tactical Bra for joining us in the virtual studio as well. Love you all. Everyone have a great weekend and a great week. I'll see you in the videos that drop and in the comments below. Love you all. Bye.